Improving your English is not something that happens overnight. It is a journey that takes time, effort, and consistency. But the results are always worth it. Many learners often wonder, what is the secret behind speaking English fluently? And the truth is that there is no single secret. The process is made up of many small habits and daily practices that slowly but surely build your skills. The most important thing you need to understand is that English, just like any other language, is not only about grammar rules and memorizing vocabulary lists. It is about communication, about expressing yourself, and about connecting with people. So if you truly want to improve your English, you have to start treating it like a living part of your daily life, not just something you study for a few hours and then forget about. One of the most effective ways to improve your English is to surround yourself with the language. This means exposing yourself to English as much as possible throughout your day. When you wake up in the morning, instead of scrolling through social media in your native language, try switching your phone to English and reading posts, articles, or even just short updates in English. This small change will help your brain get used to processing English naturally. If you watch movies or TV shows, do it in English. At first you might need subtitles, and that is completely fine. But as you improve, challenge yourself by watching without subtitles and notice how much you are able to understand on your own. Listening is one of the most important skills to develop because it trains your ear to recognize natural pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. Native speakers do not always speak slowly or clearly like in textbooks. They use contractions, connected speech. By listening a lot, your brain starts to recognize these patterns, and you will find yourself understanding more and more without even realizing it. Podcasts are a great tool for this because you can listen to them while walking, exercising, or doing chores. Choose topics that you enjoy so that listening never feels like a boring task. For example, if you love sports, listen to English podcasts about football or basketball. If you enjoy cooking, listen to cooking shows or recipe discussions in English. The key is to combine language learning with your personal interests so it becomes part of your lifestyle. Reading is another powerful habit that helps you grow your English. Start with simple materials, such as children's books, short stories, or news articles written for learners. As your confidence grows, move on to novels, magazines, and more advanced articles. When you read, do not worry too much about understanding every single word. Focus on the overall meaning and only check the dictionary if a word keeps appearing and you cannot guess its meaning from the context. Reading not only introduces you to new vocabulary, but it also shows you how words are used in real sentences. You will see grammar in action, and over time, your brain will naturally start to pick up the correct patterns. Try to read out loud sometimes. This improves your pronunciation and helps you feel more comfortable producing English sounds. Speaking, of course, is the ultimate goal for most learners, but it is also the part that people find most intimidating. Many learners say they are afraid of making mistakes or being judged by others. The truth is, mistakes are part of learning. Every single fluent speaker today once made the same mistakes you are making now. The more you speak, the faster you will improve. If you have friends who speak English, practice with them. If you don't, you can join online language exchange platforms where you can talk with native speakers who want to learn your language. You can also practice by yourself. For example, describe what you are doing during the day in English. If you are cooking, say to yourself, "I am chopping vegetables, I am boiling water, I am adding salt." This might sound silly, but it trains your brain to think directly in English instead of translating from your native language. Writing is another essential part of improving your English, and it is often overlooked. Keeping a daily journal in English is a fantastic way to practice. You don't need to write long essays. Even a few sentences about your day will help you strengthen your grammar and vocabulary. When you write, you have more time to think, which makes it easier to use new words and structures that you may not be confident enough to use in speaking yet. Over time, writing helps you organize your thoughts in English and improves your overall fluency. You can also write short stories, emails, or even social media posts in English. The more you use the language actively, the more comfortable you will become. Another important aspect of improving your English is to build your vocabulary, but do it in a smart way. Instead of memorizing long lists of random words, focus on learning words and phrases that are useful in your daily life. If you are a student, learn vocabulary related to your studies. If you work in an office, learn expressions you can use with colleagues or clients. Also, learn words in context, not in isolation. For example, instead of memorizing the word decision, Learn it with a phrase like make a decision. This way, you remember how the word is actually used in a sentence. Try to use new words as soon as possible. The more you use a word, the faster it becomes part of your active vocabulary. Grammar is important, but it should not be your main focus at the beginning. Many learners get stuck because they worry too much about grammar rules and are afraid to speak until they are perfect. The reality is, you don't need perfect grammar to communicate effectively. Focus first on being understood. As you practice more, your grammar will naturally improve. Of course, it is helpful to review grammar from time to time, especially the basics like verb tenses, prepositions, and articles. But do not let grammar stop you from speaking. Remember that even native speakers make grammar mistakes sometimes, and yet communication continues smoothly. Consistency is the real secret to success. It is better to study for 15 minutes every day than for 2 hours once a week. Daily exposure keeps the language fresh in your mind and helps you progress steadily. Create a routine that works for you. Maybe you listen to a podcast in the morning, read a short article during lunch, and practice speaking for 10 minutes in the evening. Small steps every day add up to big improvements over time. Be patient with yourself and celebrate your progress, no matter how small it seems. Every new word you learn, every sentence you understand, and every conversation you manage to hold is a victory. Confidence also plays a huge role. If you believe you can improve, you will. Speak with energy, listen with curiosity, and write with creativity. Do not compare yourself to others because everyone learns at a different pace. Focus on your own journey and enjoy the process. Remember why you started learning English in the first place. Maybe it is for your studies, for your career, or simply because you want to connect with people from around the world. Whatever your reason, let it motivate you when you feel discouraged. At the end of the day, improving your English is about building habits, exposing yourself to the language, and using it as much as possible. Listen, read, speak, and write every single day, even in small amounts. Do not be afraid of mistakes because they are proof that you are learning. Stay curious, stay consistent, and most importantly, enjoy the process.